So I just found this out, but apparently Adobe has a tool where you can use generative AI to make tileable patterns that are pretty solid for one click, and so you just put in whatever prompt you want, be it motherboard or feathers or flowers or whatever it may be, and out comes a tileable pattern. And it clearly specializes in a certain style, like it has all these solid shapes and maybe not geometric might be a word for it, but not so much textural and anything with like grit or real detail to it. But again, if you want something that's just one click, this is a pretty solid start. So to make these textures or patterns rather, you need Substance Sampler, which if you've never used Sampler before, you're probably not alone because not a lot of people use it. It's essentially a texturing tool, but made super easy. So I'll walk you through the whole process and you don't need to worry about if you don't know 3D or anything. But to go ahead and start, I'll just say empty project. The way Sampler works is this is your real-time renderer, and here in the right viewport, it's the actual texture you're editing. But we don't really got to worry about any of that right now. So what I'm going to do is hit this generative beta section here at the bottom, and you can tell just like Photoshop or Stage or any other Adobe generative AI stuff, you just put your prompt here and out it will come. So I'll say, how about watercolor flower on a dark background. What's going to come out is a really realistic look because I'm in the texture tab. So that'll take just a second to load. And you can see these are all tileable textures, but they're like more so photographs than anything. So you got like honestly a kind of watercolor-y look, but of a photo. And so we're going to switch from texture to pattern and do the same thing. Watercolor flower on a dark background. Then I'll hit enter. The reason I showed you the texture was just because that's a common problem. If you accidentally are in the texture tab, the result is all wrong. But with these loaded, you can see these are pretty solid. Like this is pretty much what I described, and I could take one of these and it might not be perfect, but I would definitely be able to take this into Photoshop and make whatever tweaks I want, make it look less AI-y, But let's say this is the one we want. So what you'll do is drag this guy into the layer stack here, and you'll get a couple options. We'll just texture import and let that load. And so it'll add a sphere with our item here. And the way Sampler is supposed to work is you have your base layer here and you just keep stacking layers and then changing effects and whatnot through the add layer section here. But we aren't going to worry about any of that. So I'll just select my guy and I'll make sure it's set to base color. Sometimes it's set to, I don't see it now, but sometimes it sets automatically to scan 1, but just set it to base color. And so now we will go to export it. I'll hit export, export as, and then, pretty simple, set wherever you want it. I am going to just put it in my download so I know where to find it. And then here, the only thing you're going to have to export is the base color. So if I were to uncheck that, you can see there's nothing. And if I have all these, you might have other ones by default. So normal and roughness and whatnot are common. So you just want to uncheck all those and put on base color. PNG is fine. And I will export that. I will replace it. Apparently I already have one in my downloads. But here is the export. So you can see, like I mentioned, it does look a little AI-y in certain parts. Like I would probably go into Photoshop and paint that over or fix random blobs like this. But this gives you a really solid start really quickly. And it's also tileable, so I don't have to mess with anything. So like the tops and the bottoms might be a little tough to edit in Photoshop, but if you can kind of steer more into the center, you'd be golden. And then you can see here in the viewport like how that tiling works. So it does not have any seams on it. But it's a neat little tool, and even though I probably wouldn't use it every day, I still think it's pretty good to know about, and I think could come in handy in real specific cases. But yeah, so hope that helps, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.